Hello YouTube vintage stereo collectors. I bet you've never seen one of these before. An Audionic 1100. This is Canadian made. It was made by Fleetwood Electronics in Montreal. I'm just going to give you a little shot of the bag. Date code 1061 on the capacitors. Record Player Corporation Montreal. Probably can't see that clearly. Boy, this is a nice simple single-handed amp. So here's what we basically have. Fairly decent power transformer, a couple filters, which I've replaced on the bottom. I put some terminal strips and some new filter capacitors, 6 CA4 rectifier tube, a 6 BQ5, one for each channel, fairly meaty output transformer, and here's something you don't see every day. If you're into old tape recorders, I'm talking about the reel-to-reels and studio equipment, the 6267 is a low noise, non-microphonic tube for rough environments. And that's what's in each of these. So it's a single pre-driver to the 6BQ5. So we're just talking two stages here. It's nicely made. Here's the very basic volume, treble, bass, and balance controls. I just always ground things here. So I put a new cord on this one, new filter capacitors. So there's two 40 microfarad 450 volt capacitors, two 100 microfarad 50 volt capacitors for the cathode bias circuit, so for each 6BQ5. It had wax capacitors in it, paper and wax, which had made a real mess inside. I mean, it's just like working in honey. I replaced those with orange dips. And a few power resistors, cleaned it up. It was quite dirty. I got this one locally from a collector. I've only ever seen one before back in the 80s. Very simple amp. Off on here, stereo mono, phono aux, so two inputs. But let's listen to it, and I'll show you what I have here. It's my sports Walkman with a cassette that I just recorded, XL2 chrome dioxide. Feeding into it. Couple of Minimus 7 speakers. We're only talking 5 watts per channel here. Balance, bass. It sounds quite good right in the middle actually. Now you gotta have it up fairly high. It sounds really nice. You can have it full volume and it doesn't distort. Very clean sounding. The 6267 is a clean sounding tube. 6BQ5 is a classic. In my garage, which doubles as my paint booth, I've painted the lid. So it actually has one of those lids, and it's basically curved to fit the amp here. So it's stamped with a slight curve at the corners. And I painted it because the paint just didn't look great. It was very straight, but had been faded, had some scratches on it. So once I get together, it'll look great. But I just thought I'd show this to you because there's not many of these out here. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening.